Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Shadows, Thoughts, and Theories, a brand new series that I'm hoping to do a lot with in the future on my channel. And, basically, as you can tell by the title, basically what it will consist of is basically me giving my thoughts, sharing my thoughts on things that I find interesting, just that interest me, as well as maybe even coming up with a couple of theories of what I think may happen when concerning, whatever I'm talking about. So without further ado, in this first video, this is what we'll be talking about today. Alright, Sonic Mania, so let's get into it. Well, the first things, the way this game was announced was at Sonic's 25th anniversary party, which was, at the time of this video, wasn't too long ago. I won't get into, the whole thoughts on the stream and everything, because, if you really want to know, there's well-documented videos that, you can look up and see that. And, I don't have, that's not what this video is about. But, anyway, so it's Sonic's 25th anniversary party. They announced a couple things. They did announce a couple things. Only two of them I'll be talking about, one of them being Sonic Mania, and one of them being the next mainstream Sonic game that they announced. But I'll be talking about that later. So, Sonic Mania, well, it was a pretty big surprise for me, considering the fact that I was obviously expecting another main series game, which is, we did obviously get an announcement of that, but I was not expecting them to go 2D. Like, I know, obviously people have been asking for a 2D Genesis-like game for a long time, but I didn't know that, didn't expect them to do this. But it's a good thing that they're doing it, because obviously they're like, okay, well, this is what the fans have been wanting for the longest time, so let's give it to them. The closest thing we've had to this is the Sonic 4 games, and, I highly doubt that those are going to be continuing at this point in time, and, everybody, most people were kind of like, about those games. So, it's nice that we're finally getting, another 2D game in the same, style, exact style as the Genesis. And, it's the team they got for it is very, very good. It's a very good team that they, and the team makes sense because I believe the guy that is actually in charge of this project is actually Christian Whitehead, which was responsible for the port of Sonic CD, which everybody really, well, I don't know if I'll say everybody, but a lot of people really liked that version of Sonic CD, and it is by far the definitive version of Sonic CD, and I can say that without even have played it, because just for the fact that all the stuff that he changed, he added, just the stuff he did with it, obviously makes it the more definitive version. But, so yeah, putting him in charge of his own game, that's pretty good, a pretty good sign. There are two other, I'll say studios, or I don't know if they're studios or developers or whatever, so, there's a couple other, obviously, people working on this. I don't know if, obviously Sega, I imagine, is involved with it to an extent, but I don't think Sonic Team is, because obviously Sonic Team is currently working on, their next main series game, but, yeah, so basically it's pretty much, the game is pretty much going back to pretty much the original style of games, because you actually have multiple playable characters, you have, obviously the same type of abilities I'd imagine you had in, the original, classic games, and I don't know, man, it looks really like, it's exactly what people have been asking for. It looks just like another Genesis game. So the way it looks is, it might be because Christian Whitehead's working on this. That it might remind you of Sonic CD, because CD kind of had those crazy, colorful environment and everything. It kind of looks like that a little bit. Lots of references to different. I mean, in the trailer alone, you can catch a lot of references to either Sonic's past or Sega's history as a company in general. And it's always cool to really cool to see that, considering, my opinion, you don't really see that a whole lot in Sega's games. But if they were going to do something like this in any of their games, it makes sense to do it in a anniversary game for Sonic. But um, yeah, they're introducing a couple new abilities, or a new ability that we know of so far, which is called the Drop Dash. It looks cool. I obviously mentioned playable characters. You're actually able to play as not only Sonic, but you're going to be able to play as Tails and Knuckles again, which is, Knuckles has been something that people have been wanting for a very long time. Um, but overall, I guess, for me at least, I am looking forward to this because, it looks like it's a 2D platformer, it's a 2D Sonic platformer, so obviously the fun element's going to be there more than likely. I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to talk about this considering, I'm not too experienced with the Genesis games, but I'm still happy that it's coming out, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to play. Uh, and it's just kind of something so we can have a Sonic game before the next main series game comes out. So we're getting 2 games next year. Which also, that's the thing, is that Sonic Mania is going to be released in spring of 2017 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. No Wii U, which is kind of surprising, but I guess it kind of makes sense because by the time this game comes out, the Nintendo NX is probably going to be out for a couple months already. So, but yeah, so yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I can say uh, about it. Looks like a lot of fun. Looks like it's going to be a real return to, when they said that Sonic is going to go back to his roots, they obviously meant it in like the clearest way possible. But yeah. So hope I didn't bore any of you too much for this first video. So yeah. So if you enjoyed, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to have you join me for the next time I do one of these videos. So until then, have a good night and take care.